Hey everybody, the time has finally come. Cliff Notes Podcast is finally here. So let's talk business, where we talk to everyday entrepreneurs and business professionals about the grind and hustle it takes to run an everyday business.
Hey guys, this is Cliff with Cliff Notes Podcast, and today we are here with Katie Charland, who is a Sid Spear Insurance risk specialist, correct? Am I getting that right?
Yes.
With OneGroup, and has been here for a while now doing this kind of work. Can you tell me a little bit more about your position at OneGroup and what exactly you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with Sid Spear Insurance, a OneGroup company, for about a year now. I'm a business risk specialist. So I work in commercial insurance as well as personal, licensed in life, accident, and health insurance. So all the insurance needs. Um, my company started, Sid Spear Insurance has been in Malone for I think over 100 years. One
Wow.
Group has been around for a really long time. We have a really great team in the Malone office that I work really closely with, as well as the team that's in headquartered in Syracuse and all throughout the Eastern Seaboard. I think we're in over 20 states. We have a team of specifically risk management specialists in Syracuse. We have HR consultants. We have benefit advisors, all that good stuff. So we're really able to do a lot for our clients. So it's been great so far.
Risk management or risk specialist kind of sounds really important.
Yeah, doesn't it? I know. It sounds really fancy.
Yeah.
But really that's what we do in insurance is we just really help people mitigate risk and, try to make the best decisions that they can for their businesses, their homes, their auto and all that stuff. So
What kind of benefits do if I were to work with you as a business owner, what kind of benefits would I be able to possibly get from you
yeah,
as a
yeah,
business
take
owner?
advantage of definitely. So, obviously, we place you with your insurance. So we take a look at all of the carriers that we feel would be a good fit for you. We look at, what the premiums look like, what kind of coverage they offer. And then from there, we really, like I referenced before, we try to look at, what can we do for you to help mitigate risk? Obviously, nobody wants to put in an insurance claim. So there's things that we can do to really help our insureds, avoid all of that. Like I said, we have our HR consultants, risk management specialists, and benefit advisors. So if you're a business owner that offers health insurance to your employees, we have a whole team that can help with that.
Now, I've had personally and in business where a lot of times I'll get my bills or the quarterlies will come about and my insurance has gone up greatly. Could you possibly tell me what would cause, business insurance or homeowners insurance or car insurance to skyrocket in a month's amount of time?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the most common question that we get asked. And often it's not because someone put in a claim. So, for the average person, they get their bill or their renewal and it's gone up and they haven't had a claim. So it's upsetting. You try to figure out why. It's why it's really important to have a good relationship with your insurance agent. You can just pick up the phone and call. Usually, we're really proactive and call you before you get that big bill,
Right.
so you don't get that sticker shock. But there's so many factors that go into an insurance company determining what your rate is. So not only do they look at how long you've been driving, your driving history, if you've had any claims, your credit score, but it also is affected by natural disasters. The increasing cost of building materials. The average car now costs 20% more than it did before COVID, as
For sure.
we all know if we've bought a house or bought a vehicle. So unfortunately, if someone gets in an accident, totals their car, the insurance company is paying out tens of thousands more dollars, every time that happens. So, those are some of the reasons that the costs are they're driving up right now.
In my past episode, I was talking to Adam. I don't know if you saw that last one we
I
did with him.
did. It's a tough act to follow. Yeah,
Yeah.
Adam's great.
But, I mean, you guys kind of work hand in hand in some of the instances where he's a realtor and you're the insurance person. Um, I'm the electrician. We got a nice little group here, so
Yeah,
it's really
we
nice to
do.
have. Um, do you feel in insurance too that the inflation rates going up here has made it difficult for you guys as well?
Yeah, it's definitely made things harder. In the past, we could have quoted someone's homeowner's insurance with 20 companies. Now we maybe have two or three. So it is getting a little bit harder. Amanda, who's behind the camera, is your office manager, I
Right.
think is the title. She's the brains behind the operation, really. But Amanda is going through the first time home buying the process. And we were able to get her some pretty competitive quotes, but only a couple. They're really, the options are a little bit more limited, but that's still okay. There's still a lot of options out there. And again, to have good communication with your agent and to trust them, and know that they're giving you the fairest price and they've done their due diligence, that's really the key.
I think personally and business wise, um, when people are searching for insurance, it's always good to bundle everything together, whether it's your car, your homeowners, your business. Because from my past experiences, when I do that, I have a big savings. Is
Yeah.
that true?
Yeah, it is. It's not always the case. Sometimes to keep them separate, a different insurance company, might have a better rate on your home versus your auto. A lot of the times we bundle, there's different discounts. It's something that we look to do first, and then if it doesn't make sense, we'll separate things. But definitely a good idea.
Awesome. Um, Now we were talking about Amanda earlier behind the scenes, how she's buying her first home. Could you walk us through why it's important for a home buyer to get an escrow account?
Yeah. So Amanda is doing escrow. And, I went over escrow billing for her insurance and she didn't really know what escrow was. So it's definitely a good conversation and one she was going to have with her mortgage lender, but I kind of beat them to it. So escrow is something that they set up, and part of your monthly mortgage payment goes into your escrow account, and they account for your taxes and your insurance. So
Right.
it's really nice not to have an extra bill every month. Everything's kind of bundled into one. But I just kind of broke it down for her as like the simplest way to think about it is a little savings account that they're using, to keep track of your taxes and insurance. So it's just an estimation. It's a reason why your monthly payment could fluctuate from year to year a little bit if they've under or overestimated. But that's where that goes. And then they just pay your insurance bill for you for the year. So you don't have anything to worry about.
So when you do an escrow account, so people know, is there any times, whether in the process of you owning your home, whether it's a year or 15 years, that even though you're kind of locked into the escrow account, is there a way that can the price can rise and go higher than what you?
Yeah. So, I mean, if your insurance premium, goes up the following year, your escrow account's going to have to make up for that. So,
Sure.
yeah. So, I have had friends say, I don't understand why my mortgage is more than it was last year. That's typically why. It's usually either because your taxes went up or, the insurance.
And I guess give you for example too is, um, taxes are always going up. Property is a very wanted thing, and there's not much of it left. Um, so as the years go by, whether it's inflation or, I know when I bought my house, it was, I think I bought it for 180,000, and in less than 7 years, with after COVID and inflation, we're over $310,000 now. So just the amount of time. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a lot of equity in our house already.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when we're talking about like a lock-in effect of when you get an interest rate, um, you're guaranteed a price. So when you think you're paying $1,100 a month, like you were talking about before, if your insurance goes up or your taxes go up, or even if you have a bill that you don't that comes out quarterly, like a water bill, some places have water bills. That those are all things that can cause the price of your mortgage to go up. Now, far as insurance goes, what about kind of like a personal injury insurance? You guys offer stuff like that, or is it just more like just business and residential stuff? Or
Personal injury insurance, like, I'm trying to think. Do you mean like liability
yeah,
insurance?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So that's like typically, and so another to use Amanda as an example. We went over, what what amount of insurance does she need? She didn't know. And really, I didn't either. We had to really sit down together. So we came up with what her replacement cost for her home would be. Most of the carriers have some type of tool that helps us estimate what that number looks like. We came up with how much it would be if we had to replace all of her stuff. So she had to think, what do her and her fiance have? You don't really realize, everything that you have that's sitting in your home. We had to figure out how much liability insurance that she needed. So, I asked her to kind of think in her head, what do you have in your checking and savings? What do all your assets look like? So checking and savings, do you have a 401k? Do you have CDs? But something that she didn't think of and most people don't really realize is that you also need to estimate what your future income is going to be. So, a lot of people have a low liability limit on their homeowner's insurance, of 300,000. I actually think I'm guilty of it. Is that enough if something were to happen
No, for
and
sure.
all your assets, needed to be protected? It's probably not. And really to quote or to move that up, we moved up Amanda's a little bit and we figured out it was less than a cup of coffee every day or every month. Yeah, it was a cup of coffee every month. It was gonna be more. So, again, just to get back to how important it is to talk to your agent,
No, for
you
sure.
know. Yep.
Definitely. Do you guys offer for people that maybe not be ready to buying a house yet? Do you guys offer anything for like a renter's insurance? And do you find renter's insurance to be an important thing to carry when?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, anybody who rents really needs it. Hopefully, hopefully, where they're renting, their landlord has insurance on the property in the building, but none of their stuff is covered.
For sure.
So it's really inexpensive. Typically, it's inexpensive. A lot of the times, you can bundle it with your auto. I do a friend of mine's insurance, and I think the renters every month it's less than $100, and it gives you the peace of mind every night that if something were to happen, you'd be covered.
Yeah, that reminds me of a story when my son was young, and me and my wife, we lived up in Denimora, and we lived in kind of like this big farmhouse, and we had the first two floors, and there was like a condo studio above us. And I remember I was in the bathroom, and I hear my wife screaming, "Cliff, Cliff!" And I open up the door, and there's water pouring down my stairs. Like it looked like a waterfall. I'm like, what is going on? And I run downstairs, and there's water coming through the ceilings, like in my daughter's room, and all over her bed. It ruined my house. Like
Hmm.
I didn't know where a shut off was at the time. It was in a basement. I think it was locked, so I had to call the fire department. I'm calling my landlord, and fortunately, I had renter's insurance, and
Yeah.
they had an adjuster come out, and I mean, he was great. He went through everything and things I didn't even think about, like wall paintings from like a paint sip that my wife did. I mean, those were things that were like, it sounds dumb because we're all getting drunk, painting little happy faces and happy trees.
That's
but
worth a lot.
but yeah, my wife worked
Yeah.
very hard on
Yes.
that.
Priceless.
Yeah, so he things
Mhm.
you just don't think about, like even
Yeah,
wedding rings,
absolutely.
or like things that were in your safe that got ruined or stolen.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to anybody that's, oh, we're renting, I don't need insurance. You do need insurance,
Hmm.
because not only did it cover my lost goods, it also put me and my family up in a hotel for months,
Exactly. Exactly.
for sure. So I kind of want to get to know you a little bit. I mean, insurance is one of those things. It's one of those evils that we all need,
I know.
but
It's
it is.
very exciting to talk about,
Oh my
isn't it?
God! When I wake up in
Yes.
the morning, I think insurance.
You know
You know.
what? I do.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So when you're at work and you're looking at all these rental agreements and insurance agreements, and like, what do you think about, what do you wish you were doing throughout the day?
Well, fishing, of course.
You're a fisher.
Yes, yes, I love to fish. I love to fish. If I could arrange, I love my job, but if I could arrange to do it on a boat and while I'm fishing, that would be ideal. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Do you fish like all the time? Like, are you a diehard fisherman?
Well, work most of the time.
Right.
Then I fish. Yeah. No, I do love to fish. I grew up on Chazy Lake. which and it's beautiful up there.
Sure it is.
I spent my whole childhood and even still now just on the lake as much as I can. Love to fish, love to ice fish. Actually, I prefer to ice fish, which is weird. But I guess, if
You don't get cold with ice fishing?
yeah, I caught a nice laker this winter. I was in the Reeling for Recovery Derby. I don't know if you're
Yeah, that's
familiar with that or.
the Aaron Cormier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a good job with that. And it was a really cold day. It was like -14, and caught it on a tip up and bringing it up, and I couldn't feel my fingers for like 3 weeks, and I was really nervous that one of them was gonna go. But they came back. I have all the feeling back. But yeah, no, I do. I love to fish.
Yeah. I mean, you're saying there, and I'm like, you're talking about tip ups, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But
it's okay.
no,
Just
I've
Google
always
it.
wanted to get. I've fished, but I've always been like kind of like afraid to go out
Yeah.
on the ice.
Yeah. The nice thing about Shazy Lake is that it is so cold up there. It's like a whole different world than like Plattsburgh and
Sure.
around here, but it gets really cold up there obviously. And there's more than a foot of ice. So, I mean, people used to bring their trucks out there, and didn't think twice about it.
No, for
I
sure.
wouldn't bring mine now, but back in the day, I guess it was okay that they did that.
Now, did you get brought up fishing? Did all
Yeah.
your family fish?
Yep. Yeah. I fished with my grandfather, and his name was just synonymous with fishing. He loved it.
Right.
And we have some home movies of him just, bringing up Lakers, and just nobody's happier than him, catching a fish. So kind of got it from him. And I fish a lot with my stepdad now. And, just like to do it as much as I can.
Well, I mean, besides fishing, is there any other outdoor activities or any kind of activities you enjoy doing?
Yeah, all of them. I have 2 dogs. I have a lab and a golden retriever, and they just love to be outside. So try to do as much with them as possible. But yeah, really anything outside. I love sports. Used to play a lot when I was younger, but now that I'm old, I don't really, not as active as I used to be. But definitely like to still get out there. I need to get better at golf. I think
Yeah,
that's,
I think I just got into golf.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you're a natural.
That's what people tell me. I mean, they could all be lying.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
But I mean, there's plenty of events out there, and I think that's a good place to meet people. You know what I mean? It's new businesses, new potentials.
Yeah, there's a lot of events that go on in the community that kind of revolve around it. It is really good.
Oh, for sure it is. Now, do you live in Chattagay still?
No, I live in Cumberland Head. Yeah.
Well, you can fish there too.
Yeah, I can. I could just walk out there,
Yep.
but
Good. Where can people find you if they wanted to get a hold of you?
yeah. So my office is right there. We are in Booth Plaza. Like I said earlier, we've got an office in Malone. I'm here in Plattsburgh. I hop up to Malone, at least once a week. Phone is usually the best. I can be, someone can call me anytime. I believe Amanda's going to attach some contact info. Email, phone here. I'm always available. Always love to meet new people. Take on new clients. Love working with local businesses. Have quite a few that I've started working with, over this last year, and it's been really great so far. Always looking to be busy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's always good to have, an agent like yourself, like that's good with people and ready to answer your beck and call when you need it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of questions that, like I said, like we talked, insurance may be dry sometimes, but it's one of those things that you need, and to have somebody that's there for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And there when you need it, even if we're calling like a customer service number, and I'm trying to get, someone to come look at my gutters and nobody calls me back. It's so frustrating, and you guys are really good at, when I hear the phone ringing and Amanda's on it, and you're at the job site the next day.
Right.
So it's so important, as you guys know, to just be there for people. And, that's what we try to do at Sid's Beer and OneGroup.
Yeah. So when somebody says, Sid's Beer, OneGroup, and do you show up in khakis?
No. I have no gecko. I don't have anything.
Yeah.
I could probably bring one of my dogs. That'd probably be the
That'd
only
be
thing
awesome.
I could show up with. Yeah.
Is there anything that I missed, or any kind of questions you'd like to ask me, or that you would like to add?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think we covered the gist of it. Like you said, insurance is something that everybody needs. It's not, sometimes it's not the most exciting thing, but we try to make it that way. Um, we try to work pretty closely with people, get to know everybody. When I'm working with someone, I like to know, their dog's names, how many kids they have,
Right.
because these are relationships that you're forming that you're hopefully going to have for decades. The rest of my career, I'm hopefully going to be working with these people. And same thing for you. I'm sure, you get a client, if they need stuff done to their house or if it's a commercial job, you want them to call you back. So it's so important to get to know people. You don't want to, have them be oversharers by any
Right.
means,
Right.
but you definitely want to get to know people.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think it's important too when I'm out there. I kind of wish um, that there was a number that do you give your personal number?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I have been,
Yeah.
just because it just rings right to me. I mean, we do have, we just got like the Zoom app, so
Oh,
we've been
okay.
using
Yeah.
that. So my phone rings right to my cell. Yeah, so if people need us, we're
So
just
what I
right
was trying
there.
to say was so when I go to some of these houses where poles have broke or anything like that, it'd always be nice to like get hold somebody directly, and that's a lot of the problems I see right now is that these people try to call their insurance agents and they just it's the bigger chain ones where
Yeah,
they don't they don't hear back from their insurance company for months, and these people are without power, and
yeah.
you know how the winters are here,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
exactly. Or if you don't have a local agent, you're not talking to the same person every time.
right.
So every time you call, you're having to explain yourself over and over, and you're already, in a a really tough state usually. So you don't want to have to repeat your story for everyone. So it is really important to have a local agent, and not just us, but there's a ton of great local agents in the area. So yeah, it's definitely important.
So this is Kate Charland with Sit Spear Insurance and OneGroup. We appreciate you coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of got something out of this today.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
aspects, whether people want to buy homes or businesses or
yep,
renters, I think something that they all needed to hear
yep. It was really fun.
for sure. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks. Appreciate it.